Hi guys, welcome to the earnings season, the podcast from everymickle.com, hosted by myself, Randy Rowe at RT Rowe and
Danhai Hall at H_Dan_Dada. That's going to change, guys. I've been saying this, right?
Still needs to change his name. Guys, so thank you again. I've been seeing a lot of the feedback from the first episode that has dropped, and by now, when you're hearing this, definitely if you're a mailing list subscriber for everymickle.com, you would have gotten the feed for this and hearing the first and the second episodes. So one of the pieces of feedback that I got from the first episode was that, you know, people, one, they didn't know who I was, two, they didn't know who Danhai was. So they kind of said it in the show credits, but you know, they wanted a smoother intro. So we made sure to start off this week by telling you who we are. So I'm Randy, that's Danhai. And the second bit of feedback I got was that people like to have an idea of what the show itself is. So the show is a conversation about money, finance. So it's, I think, a typical podcast where they talk about current affairs and so on. It's pretty much that, but with people who like finance and business and money. You know, it's not the business news, but it's the conversation that happens when the news is on. Yeah, by people who like money. So if you don't like or care about money, then the podcast probably isn't for you.
And you very likely care about money.
Yeah, well, I think most people do. What some people might not. And I should point out that it is recorded at the Bamcast Studios, where our great producer, Sir Bam himself, is here. So sometimes you might hear him in the background. I know a couple of people told me they liked hearing somebody else in the background. It sounded like, you know, like a nice group. And so you'll hear Martin. Do we call you Martin on this? Or do we call you Bam? Or you don't care?
Your choice.
All right, so Martin is pro-choice, and he's he's our producer / voice in the background. And so this week we have our first guest this week. And if I wanted to wait to introduce you, but I guess we can, now that we've said it. So you've heard who we are, you've heard what the podcast is, which is a conversation about money among friends. We'll have guests sometimes, but it will never be, I'm trying not to say a certain person. You know, as it's a podcast, I don't care. It won't be the Owen James report. Big up Owen James. I respect Owen James a lot. Pay attention to him over the years. Anybody who knows about stocks knows about Owen James. Big up Owen James. But this is not the Owen James report. This is more like the Randy chatting crap with Danhai about finance and guests. And this week we have a guest who is, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm David Rose, currently a UE Mona student. I know some of you would have seen the article discussing about my adventures in the market and how I took advantage to cover some fees. So I'm thankful to be on this podcast today and hope we have a fun discussion.
I hope so too. First podcast rule is what I don't know what time people listening to this. So no more times. No good afternoon. It's just hello.
And the article David's speaking about, he won the JC's game.
It was the Young Investors game.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Young Investor stock trading game. David won. He didn't say that for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't put that in there.
No, the article itself, as I said, would have covered all of that, which is why I mentioned that first.
But as we know, people don't always read the articles, right?
You might just read half, you know.
I'll give a synopsis.
Oh, you give us an... Yeah, tell the people why you're famous, David.
Well, earlier this year, went on Nationwide, did a small discussion for Wigton, and then I got a small feature. And the feature was about how I use stocks or the Jamaican market to cover my summer school fees last year. So, last year, for those who didn't know, I had in summer school at UE, and I didn't want to pressure my mom, so took some of my investments and liquidated them and just covered my fees.
Liquidated them? I mean, you just
and
cash them out?
You just sell, and just take the cash and, you know, took the needs, what I had to cover and just dealt with them for myself.
Okay, so pretty much you made money from the market and helped your real life.
Yes, it's possible, and it's always possible.
Oh no, we know that here.
Knowledge.
We know that here. We are very much into it being very possible here. This is not the. Here, what? You don't ever have to be modest here. You did something good. You cash out something. You cash some money from the market and you paid stuff. I enjoy that. You know, I spoke about. People have heard last week. I spoke about paying light bills from investing.
Having real goals with the money.
Yeah, it's a big deal. So you actually did that.
And in that same year, also one Young Investors game, which Danhai mentioned, and that was actually a pretty fun thing because in the beginning, made some simple, innocent blunders, and after the first quarter, I was in last at around 80k. When June started, I was at 70k. By the end of that month, we're 44k. End of the year, 1.45 million.
Right.
Oh, wow.
And that was in 6 months.
Yeah.
So imagine what the real market gave in returns.
I don't know what does real market give in returns.
Some very good returns.
You have you been doing that? You mind saying that? You mind saying what your returns have been?
Well, I can't specifically say the exact returns, but a couple companies last year, so proven, and even in this pharma and a couple other firms, I got into them at early positions, and when the market caught on, I just took advantage of them. In this, the IPO, premium was already listed, but once you know what to buy and where to buy, you're gonna get advantage of it.
Wow. Sorry, I feel like. All right, cool. So you made some money from the market. I do like that. And you say you did it over the summer. It helped you in school, and since then you've been on almost, I don't know if they call it a press tour, but it looked like a press tour. You've been everywhere.
In a sense, yes, because it was a nationwide in April. Same day, got a call from GIS. Did the feature for GIS the following week. It came out mid-June. Then after that, following week, the Monday, I was in the Observer. The Tuesday, I was in the Gleaner again. And then on that same day, I was on Smile Jamaica. Then the following week, I was interviewed by Buzz Media. When I was interviewed by Nationwide again, but this time by Miss Kitty.
What was that like? What's Miss Kitty like in real life?
She's a very fun woman. I knew her before the interview, but...
I was a celebrity before now.
Well, I knew her before, yes, and the interview was very interesting. So even Nicole McLaren Campbell was there, and people were just interested and impressed that I just taught myself how to invest in stocks because, as I mentioned at the beginning, I'm a science student. I am not formally taught in business, so...
Okay, well, actually, you didn't mention at the beginning. What was your degree in?
Chemistry major, math minor.
Oh, wow. That's the hard stuff.
That's so impressive, to be honest.
That's pretty good. I was very impressed by the fact that Danhai was... And say Danhai, I don't want to sound extra dumb on the people. I don't want to sound extra dumb on the podcast. So go ahead and say what it is that you're...
My degree was in actual science.
Yeah, that's the fearful math. And then are...
In the math minor.
Math minor.
So I'm in the subset of what he did.
yeah, but I think everybody's in the subset of what he did, except for maybe, I think, people who do like pure math are the physicists. Yeah, nobody likes a physicist.
You can't miss them. You need them.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. But we need physics. We don't need physicists. I'm knocking them. But yeah, it's impressive that you've done that. And you mix those two things. What is it that you want to do?
So I mentioned to people that, chemistry, the scientific field, is to give me a greater base knowledge and how to think differently. So, I plan in the future to open some businesses, probably create some things, but it's all about furthering myself. So I explain to people that, I wouldn't mind having a little personal firm to explain finance or, work with private clients, but it's all about bettering myself and also taking opportunity to grow myself further.
So do you want to work in the finance industry?
Not necessarily full-time to that extent, get some experience first, learn, probably be a private consultant. But, I want to have that liberation where I can choose what I want to do. So I can work in the sciences, do some studies, and potentially create some ideas and capitalize off of them. Because there are so many people who have taken advantage of the technological age, created different products, So opportunities there in whatever you do. It's just for you to see the light at the end of the road.
Makes sense.
All right. And so you don't actually... So you're saying... I mean, I always found it weird that people had to pick exactly what it is that they want to do. I mean, do you like, right? Chemistry and math, then... I guess we pay attention to that.
No, that's just the problem what we have in today's society. Everybody's like, let me do this one thing, and sometimes they don't like it, or they like it, but they probably aren't compensated well enough, or they really wanted to continue with that area, because even Rafael Nadal, had he not chosen tennis, he'd have been a pro footballer.
That's what he said?
No, yeah. When Rafael was 12, his parents gave him an ultimatum, football or tennis, because he did both. I didn't want him to fall in school, so he had chose between tennis and football. I would know which one he chose, obviously. Which
is that Rafael Nadal is the world's greatest tennis player.
Well,
Federer, actually.
He's number two.
Roger Federer.
Okay, yeah, I wanted to hear. Yeah.
Tony's on a bit.
Federer is actually crazily amazing. Like I don't know tennis that well, but I started looking at the stats. He's like the Usain Bolt of tennis. Like he's way ahead. He's way ahead.
And Rafael is like their surfer. You know, he brought he brought the standards. You know,
that is true. Big up Asafa.
He brought the standards because like people are going to be like.
I mean, I'm clear, sure, but
nobody knew Jamaica before Asafa set a record. You know, like
whoa,
I mean set the record. I'm talking about the world record. Like people didn't take in athletics. Asafa set the world record for 100 meters.
Okay.
And people tried to take Jamaica a little more seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And then Usain came on and did it, you know?
Yeah, but I'm not seeing a comparison with Federer or Nadal.
Yeah.
Usain Asafa.
I was thinking it was right, Federer started everything, but Federer had to stop and slow down for a little bit. And then Nadal just kept up his pace as well because Nadal has 18 titles and Federer has 20. So, you know, that kind of comparison between those two extremes.
But one is much younger.
About 5 years, but Asafa is still running, so.
Yeah, I mean,
big up Asafa.
Yeah,
big up
both.
Usain Bolt. Yeah. But I get your point. So, but all right, then, I mean, in plain language, I like to speak plainly. What do you? All right, you get all the money in the world. You can do whatever you want. What do you do with your time?
I do my time. For one, I'd probably open my little firm and probably in some scientific field, probably the finance firm, and just take some time and relax and just enjoy life to an extent. But I have to keep myself busy, probably play some chess, probably learn a language, but I just can't stay at home, just sleep in the daytime and just be bored.
All right, that's cool. I get that. But what would you do? Like what?
I'm
trying to link this. Sorry, I'm trying to link it back to your degree. Do you want to work in the area of your degree, or do you want to work in the area that you are now famous for, which is investing?
No, I would want to work in the area I'm famous for, but I wouldn't give up the entire scientific field entirely.
Okay, I get you. So if you first thing out of a job, you get a internship offer from SRC, Scientific Research Council, $5 million 2-year contract. And then you get an offer from, let's say, Proven, $5 million 2-year contract. Which one would you go for?
I would take the Proven.
Oh, right now?
Yes, because
Word.
I can always go back to science. But with finance, you're limited in age, but things change dynamically, and to get some groundwork in from before and understand the field is pretty good. Because I've been doing my reading, history through the Observe and so many other resources, and the Jamaica and the finance space has changed so dynamically. Because probably about 15 years ago, most of us were in trade online. We can do it from the top of our phones now.
Well, I was, but I like that. Actually, say how old you are. How old are you?
I'm 21.
You're 21. You don't actually say that much.
Well, I'm in my reading, but I'm surprised. Like
No, I mean your age. You don't actually say your age much. It just occurs to me that I don't actually know your age until now. Is that like you're doing that thing where people are they're ageist? I think in Jamaica especially, it's like we don't respect you unless we think that you're old.
And the thing is, most women actually think I'm younger. So
well, I could say that.
I think I'm like 16, 14.
Wow. I honestly thought you were in high school. I thought you were in high school too. I thought you were in high school too. Yeah, I thought you were in high school or just going to, and then your username. His username on Twitter is @JCKnight.
JCKnight too, with a K. The night, the chess piece, not the night, like outside.
Okay, and why the JC is because of Jamaica College?
Well, that and it's my moniker. Like when I was in high school, I used to comment on Instagram, and people actually would see me and say, "Wait, you're JCKnight40? Oh, it's you!" And that's my Instagram name. So I just stuck with the JCKnight for Twitter as well.
So, how did the Instagram name come? Wasn't it Jamaica College?
I tried to find a name on Instagram, and that one was just convenient, and it actually was related to me. So the chess piece, the knight in chess, can just jump over anything, move forward. And JC was the school I went to, so you know. And I said I used to comment on a lot of Instagram photos, so the guys would be like, "You're JCKnight40?" Because I'd comment on my female friends' photos, and my comments were pretty interesting.
Okay.
Like what?
So I would say I would just some poetry or something like that, and I would just be very explicit, like, I wouldn't say look good. I would just say look ravishing, or like the nighttime sky.
With your friends?
My female friends. And
I thought it was your school.
It's all boys' school, so I was really wondering.
No.
That's fine though.
It's cool.
It's 2019. Yeah. We're all inclusive. If it was his friends, it wouldn't matter.
No.
That's fine, bro.
That's fine. But I get what you're saying. So you went to JC, which I think was the main point. And you kept the name. So you kept the JC night too. I think it's because of the JC why I thought you were in high school still. I thought like you're in high school or you just went to university. So it's like your first year. But that's good because you finishing university soon, right?
Well, I have 2 more years coming. Right? As I mentioned earlier, I was sick in first year, so I have to spend an extra year. But hey, if you can make lemons in the meantime, why not?
Yeah. We're all about the diamonds here, making the diamonds. I like that. I like the story. I know you mentioned chess a couple of times. So you play chess?
Yes. So I actually am the Jamaica Chess Federation's Public Relations Chair.
So,
oh, wow.
Earlier today, I was taking some photos at the Masters Knockout.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Who won?
No, it's still ongoing. It's at the quarterfinal stage now.
Oh, do you know Horace Sinclair?
I saw Horace yesterday.
Oh, yeah, man.
I think he knows Horace.
No, I used to play with Horace in the high school chess. Like, what got interested with chess was, went to JC. The parents were like, go on a club, we're going to probably get scholarships in the future. So I went to a club, computer club. All they did, they started a little CSEC IT, then play Halo the rest of the time. I'm like, if I'm going to be wasting my time, better do something productive.
So instead of playing Halo the game, you play chess again?
Chess again.
Hey, at least my mind is being tested.
No,
you can't knock Halo.
Don't knock Halo, boy.
I'm not going to knock Halo, but I was interested in chess. I was like, if I'm going to spend my time playing Halo, why not do that at home? If I have time in the afternoons to use, why not use something productive? And
I get you. I'm not going to knock either of those two. As a OG nerd myself, I like both Halo and chess. And I see Bam holding on nerd for it also. So yeah, you're in good stead here. But I want to know, and this is my personal thing I always wanted, because I love chess. I don't play a lot of chess though. But I find the strategic applications of chess in real life all the time.
Yes.
So, I mean, have you found any of those things, especially like in your own, in your investing journey? Because I see it a lot in the market. How I thought the market is very strategic a lot of times. So I thought business is also strategic.
No, and that's how it is. So, like when I'm investing, I look at, so in chess, you have psychology and you have tactics. So, you can be playing some subtle moves and your opponent can get tricked just based on the way you are playing. And then you can be making simple tactics while no one is noticing. So I've been looking at stocks and people are like, why did you do this? Why did you buy this? Why you buy at that price? Why did I buy it in the first place? Because I see a potential upswing. Why did I buy it at that price? Because it was on a lower band, meaning between a trading range, say 40 and 48, I'll buy around the 42, 41,
Sounds specific, bro. Which stock you talking about?
Yeah.
That's very specific.
I'm not going to mention which stock.
No, it's mention the stock. It's fine.
It was Sagicor.
Okay. But is it, wait, hold on. Let me know if we need to beep those. Is there like a special reason why you don't want to mention the stock?
No, I don't want people to think, I only buy these particular stocks because I always buy different stocks. But, people are going to say why you chose that one,
Oh, yeah, get ready for the DMs. You can't run from it.
So you mentioned Sagicor, you're going to hear, so I should buy Sagicor too?
Yeah.
No, come on. I'm the last advisor. I'm the last advisor, but no, like when I first invested, that was the first company I bought, actually.
Sagicor was the first company you bought?
Yeah.
I like that's a good question. So the first
money?
investment you ever made was Sagicor?
Yes.
Why?
My investor asked me the same question, and I was like, you guys just acquired a bank, you're growing, you have a relatively good stream and a hold in the Jamaican market. So I was like, this is a company I have to get in for the long term.
So when did you do this? When was this?
2016, 3 years ago.
3 years ago. What had they acquired 3 years ago?
3 years ago, I started investing. So I got my first summer job, and that's how I got into investing.
Oh, so that was your start in investing. Okay, and you picked Sagicor because you thought, they have a bank and they're growing as a bank.
They just acquired a bank.
They had just acquired a bank.
In 2014, so they were still in transition phase. So
2 years, okay.
So for them to continue integrating and building it out, there's potential growth for that.
And just for the listeners, I know that the bank that they had acquired, for anybody asking, to save it from DMing me, they acquired RBC. Sorry, RBTT had changed its name. It moved from Royal Bank of Trinidad and Tobago to Royal Bank of Canada. Then they moved to Sagicor.
Yes. Yeah. So much acquisitions, as you would say.
Yeah, M&A. Big up again at 5 Sale on Twitter, Ryan, who has been preaching that the economy will show its rise through the increase of M&A, which is mergers and acquisitions, over the next 5 to 10 years. And he said this about 3 or 4 years ago. I think publicly he said it 3 or 4 years ago. So shout out to Ryan also. Hopefully we'll have Ryan on this one of these weeks. If he's up for it, let me know, Ryan, if you are. I know you're listening. But go ahead.
So, I tell people when I started out, I was at home earlier today and even took up a card where I actually took particular stocks, the price I was going to buy them at, the positioning in the time horizon.
What are you saying? So you do, okay, I like that. That sounds sensible to me. All right. So I tell people all the time, right? People ask me, and Dan I hear it all the time, yo, which stock good? Which stock I must buy? Everybody want to know which stock I must buy, which stock is good. I literally can't tell you because I don't know you. No, it's not like you mean like I only tell my friends, because I can't tell my friends either.
I
got
that one too.
Yeah.
So you only tell your friends. I'm like, no,
that's worse. You are angry now. My friends hate me for this, but it's the truth. I can't tell you because I don't know what matters to you. First, I need to know when you want it. Like, what do you want? What's your goal? When you need the money for? How much money you're starting out with? And then, based on that, I can say, okay. And then, of course, there are other little things like risk tolerance, Are you going to cry if it go down a little bit? I have to deal with you messaging me all the time. Am I going to remember to tell you? That's the most major one. The most major reason why I don't tell people what to buy is, I tell you something's good. Let's say I say,
you mentioned it in an article, GK. You mentioned how GK would have been good for an investor.
That pause just now was me trying not to say any stuff because I had to deal with people saying that I said it. All right, so those I said GK, especially not GK. Big up GK, but no. Let's say I say Cygnus. We're talking right now, we're talking early August. Cygnus it has risen significantly over the last couple of weeks. But it is still, in my personal opinion, amateur opinion, well below its proper value, right? What's it at right now? I know you know the numbers.
$22 right now.
Jesus Christ. It's so weird how he does that. It's so weird how he just has the numbers. Dan and I were talking earlier, right? When we were carrying him up. And like when you're into investing, you naturally get numbers all the time, right? So I joke with Dan and I was saying like it's weird, but I think about it, I know that NCB increased the dividend by 29% last year, right?
Yeah.
To 90 cents, right? So I guess a normal person can me that's like, weird. Why does he just know that out of the blue? But it's weird to me that I can ask you any number. Why do you remember exactly what it closed at on Friday?
No, that's just me. I'm an analyst. Like, I use data from the past and correlate the future. I did history in CSEC as well,
Listen, Proven need to snap you up right now.
I'm working with them for the summer right now.
Oh, big up Proven. Okay. Big up Proven. And they have some big moves coming too. People, that's not me saying to buy Proven. That's me saying that the company Proven has some big moves coming. Make your decisions on your own or speak to a licensed financial advisor, which I am not.
And the thing is, before the article came out, I was still searching for a job. So I applied to several Jamaican companies.
And them said no.
They didn't respond to me.
Yeah, they don't rate you.
And when the article came out, I got all these calls.
Yeah.
Even the current human development officer for one of these companies called me and says, "We need you."
Wow.
And my dad was like, "David, come to JC Boys dinner." I'm like, "Sure." I'm there, and then Chris Williams is like, "It's you? I want to fight you." Why didn't chemistry?
Give Chris a deeper voice for this. We're going to do it again. Let's give Chris a deeper voice.
So like Chris was like, why you doing
That's messing with you. I'm messing with you. But that's fine, I get you. So he found out who you were at the dinner.
No, the thing is, I was actually emailing him before, and he never realized it was me.
But he probably gets a lot of emails, to be fair.
He gets 1,000 plus per day.
Yeah, yeah. So he has to manage his time. He has to do it. Let's not rag on like the people who run these companies. They are busy. They have a whole
They have a lot.
We spoke about it last time in Tyrone.
Yeah. Funny enough, your story is similar in my mind to Tyrone because Tyrone also went to JC. And he also has a bunch of good experiences coming out of the JC Old Boys dinner.
Yes, and Tyrone told me a story. When I was at UE, he actually, early last year, he actually told the story of how he got to interact and then I create. He was explaining that had this idea, and he was at the back of the class, working his business ideas, and he said, I need to meet some investors, and went to the JC Old Boys dinner. Couldn't actually afford it. Somebody helped him out.
Yeah.
And he met up with the new BOJ governor and
what's his name?
Richard Biles.
There we go. Sir Richard Biles. We spoke about him the other day when we said
Mr. Sagicor.
Mr. Sagicor, yeah. Funny enough, so how do I say this? Or legal advice. We spoke after hearing the first episode. Spoke to us about maybe always being careful about what we say, and we're pretty careful about that. But just to be clear, Richard Biles is the person who was at the helm of Sagicor when they did that massive transformation of the revenue model of X Fund, where they took on Playa.
Oh yes,
yeah. So we had said in the last episode that it's a grand reworking. Yeah, so big up specifically Richard Biles for leading that effort, because it's not often that you see a Jamaican entity rework itself so quickly
and on such a large scale.
Exactly, because they are a huge entity.
And when I actually read the documents on the New York Stock Exchange, I realized it was a big deal. You see the CEO's names for several different companies, and you're just like, wow.
What are you talking about?
With the X1 deal, I actually went through some of the documents, and you see Sagicor Financial Corporation, you see each specific individual, you see Playa, and I was just like, wow.
Because the reporting requirements on the US exchange is a lot more stringent than in Jamaica.
We need that in
way
Jamaica.
more stringent.
We need that.
Yeah, we really do need that in it. And it's so funny when you see, I respect that you're going through that. So that's something that Danhai and I do all the time. We pay attention to who owns what. We pay very, very close attention to who owns what. That's why you've heard us talking about big up Chris Berry. Again, big up Chris Berry.
Always big up Chris Berry.
Yeah, man, big up Chris Berry again. We spoke on the last episode about, I think the term I used was following his footprints. Because when he does something, I mean, there tends to be a good reason behind it, and there tends to be profit behind it. So even if you don't know what you're doing, you look for his companies and you see the moves that they make, right? The reporting requirements in America are so much more stringent that we would see a lot more things a lot earlier. But even the level of things that you can see now with publicly available data is just for who have enough sense to go and either pay for it or acquire it or whatever. But it's publicly available data that can give you things that allow you to see a lot of the early moves. So people always wondering, how Randy knows something, how Danhai knows something. They must have inside info. We do have inside info. Yeah, but there's a lot of value in knowing what is public information and knowing where to find that public information and reading it and then connecting the dots from that information. And that can be as simple as going on the JSC's website, www.jamstockx.com, and reading the releases.
The news.
Yeah. Well, check the whole site, but yeah, the news section is a good section to start with. That's where all the
disclaimers and disclosures are made. That's why it's specific to me into that part.
1,000%. And guys, it is boring. Yes, it is boring and dumb. It is unless you have the love for it, it is pretty boring. You're not going to spend your time doing it. But then find somebody who spends their time doing it. Listen to this. I mean, we can't help ourselves. We talk about good stuff. Pay attention to everymickle.com. Pay attention to people on Twitter. Follow
H_Dada.
Oh, you really need to change that name, Danhai.
Yes, it's gonna change, bro.
Yo, you should call yourself at the other Danhai. Yeah, please.
Oh, yo.
Yeah. You know what? Do you get that joke? Because you're kind of young. Do you get that Danhai joke?
No, not as perfectly as yet. No.
Okay.
I try not to go to a Danhai joke.
Yeah. I will explain that to you in the podcast. I'll tell you how that joke go. Yeah.
So even on Twitter, every other day I'm writing long threads and people actually appreciate them. So even recently,
people do like them. Yeah, because you go to a level of, no offense, boredom. Because like I love this stuff, my lord, but yeah. My talent lies in making the boring exciting. I read the reports and I don't read your tweets because Jesus, you go through it. But I don't have to do it because I read actual numbers. But for somebody who might not read actual numbers, your threads do offer a lot of information. Yeah, tell me at again so people can know to follow you.
JC92, JCKNIGH2.
GHT2.
Thank you very much.
Oh my God! Say one more time for the people, please.
JCKNIGHT2.
Yes, I've been spelling bee over here.
Yeah.
So even the other day, explain what a rights issue is. Ask him what T+2 is. You can look at my profile for that, and even my pinned tweet on my profile is on how to open an account. Because that's one thing most people don't do. They always say I want to invest, but what is the hardest step? Opening the account. So that's my pinned tweet. Explain how to open the account and what each broker's opening amounts are, Save yourself the time, save yourself the hassle, because I know Jamaica's institutions are tedious and boring sometimes, because 2 hours in a bank, but
2 hours. What are you doing? You're just in one deposit?
Not even a deposit. Probably even open an account.
Yeah, no, you're opening an account, that's an all-day process.
Well, that's why I make sure to go in my documents already typed and carry my documents, something even printed, just to save massive time.
Okay, yeah. Still gonna take all day.
No, but that's just because of how our system is, thanks to the scammers in Mobile.
Yeah, I don't want to go too deep, but I know banks are working on it. I know large banks in the sector are working on it. I know it's an active thing from some banks to reduce that time, but the reality of it right now, all day to open an account. I said this up to like last week, and people DMing me. They want to like, they open their brokerage account and they want to do a certain transfer, so they say, yo, let me just at the same time and try and open a bank account. All day process. Even when you walk with everything, all day process. You go see your weight, you get the number, you can take it 2 hours to see somebody. You see that little desk at the side of the bank?
Oh, God.
That is the first layer of hell. I don't go there. If I have to go there, if them have $10 million for me, and the cure for longevity and like the DM of Shensia, I'm going to go there if they have that last one. Right? but everything else, I'm not going there. It's terrible. It's terrible. Banking in Jamaica, they call it the banking hall experience internally. The banking hall experience internally is the first layer of hell.
It's an extreme sport.
It is punishment. An extreme sport is exciting. It is punishment. And it's like they put the TV on the worst Indian movie ever. and you just sit down and it's like a grill across the TV. I'm like, the TV is inside the bank. Who the hell is going to come? If somebody else coming here to steal the TV, you have bigger problems. You sit down there and you spend 2 hours and it's just the same thing. And it's TVJ News now. I'm like, I've been here till 12 o'clock. And yo, it is terrible. Sorry.
No, but you're talking the truth. And it's reality, because as I said, if Jamaica was a little less informal, and what I mean by this, people, is informal meaning that transactions aren't recorded, and formal meaning transactions are recorded. Jamaica's economy is still very informal. Wow. Majority of our economy isn't tracked. So because of that, it makes the bank's jobs even harder, because even to proof of income, that's a difficult thing for most people, because not all companies pay their employees through the bank. They probably pay them through cash, which makes it even harder to verify income sometimes. And as I said, it's a part of the issues that came down from years of different systems and situations. But
there's time to do something about it. But maybe, do you think, I like to joke and say that it's your job to help fix it, because you tend to be very vocal. Another thing David is known for is that he goes to a lot of the AGMs, to try the annual general meetings at these companies, and you're known. I think in your Twitter picture now is a picture of you at the AGM.
Yeah. Well, that's my WhatsApp picture.
That's your WhatsApp picture. Yeah, cool. But you should make that your regular picture. Don't like that. I have a dog dog in diapers.
That dog is very close to my heart,
guys. My Twitter is a little sentimental, because it's from an episode of House, and it was a autistic kid giving his PSP to House. So that's the idea,
Yeah, now I'm a little older, so for me it's like if you give that Game Boy to House, I would not give House a Game Boy. A Game Boy Color? No, bro.
But it was sentimental, the idea of
very sentimental about my Game Boy Pro.
But still, man, and the thing is, some banks have tried. So JN, they actually have I tried something last week. When you go on JN, you can actually fill out the form just by typing in the data, and when you're finished, it will generate the form for you, and you can carry that into the bank, and it saves you so much time, because to fill out those forms, if nobody assisting you and you make a mistake, it takes more time for you,
to fix it.
And even for the recent IPO, Surgical Select, in the IPO, people are like, why it takes so long to come out? Let me say something simple. It's a legal situation. It's people's money.
Okay, let's just again hold on. Let me just again. This is David speaking. David, go again, David.
Yeah, I was saying that it's a legal situation. That's why they cannot rush IPOs, because people are like, why it takes so long to bring it out, and I have to explain to them it's a process. They have to check the forms, and I'm glad for NCB bring out Go IPO, because that simplifies the process and makes things easier. But when they have to write the regular forms out, they have to check and make sure the numbers are correct. You apply for the correct incremental amount, and that's just the problems we have. So even though the banks want to make things better, people also have to try and not rush some things that they're doing, because that kind of holds up the process as well.
I understand. So big up NCB Cap Markets for that's a free ad. big up NCB Cap Markets for the Go IPO
application.
Yeah, it's a website.
Quickly lab listed.
What you said?
Go quickly, the lab listed.
Yo, that was impressive.
Thanks for that pressure.
No, like the first, it came on the 15th. It came on the 15th. The following week, the base development was oversubscribed, and then the following week was listed like 3 weeks, and it was in and out.
And we plugged Mayberry with Wigton's IPO. That was really quick.
Yo, Wigton was a beast.
Wigton was an example of, I think, excellent management from the start to the finish. I mean, now that I know a lot of what happens behind the scenes for IPOs, I understand what must have gone into having Wigton. That must have been planned way in advance.
It was actually started from August, from about March in 2018. Mm-hmm. That's when they actually won the bid, and it should have came out in August, but it's a lot. Even when maybe went to this MJE, it takes a lot, because to try, as people want to know, IPO is initial public offering. So to take a company from private to public, depending on the structure, it can be very tedious and difficult. So, you know, for companies that can get the IPOs out quickly, I have to be thankful, because it's a lot of work. It's not easy.
Yeah, it is a lot. And again, big up Mayberry. Mayberry is like, what, 60% of the junior market, though?
They said most of the junior market. Listing access first.
Yeah, they started it, and I suspect if it ever ends, as it has ended once before, it will end with a Mayberry listing. But big up Mayberry for that. You've made a lot of us a lot more money than we thought would happen.
And you've actually helped Jamaica.
Yes. Well, you know, I'm part of Jamaica, so that's talking about me. That's talking about me, bro. I don't know those guys that are just happy for the money.
No. We're making money still, but, you know, it actually helped Jamaica. Because when these companies grow, it actually helps the overall economy.
Now, pay attention to that tax and fee line on every trade I do, you know. Yeah, man. Big up the government for taking my money. That's cool. Please do great things with it.
And dividends too, the 15% withholding tax.
That's right. I don't really mess with the dividend stuff, but I get what you say. Yeah, I know. So that's one thing. In terms of trading, David and I are a lot more similar in how we invest. David is. Tell people how you invest. You have like an investment philosophy?
Well, for one, if I'm going to invest, I have to know the horizon. Is it the case where I need this money to quote unquote be flipped within a particular period of time? So, you know, I have to look at particular companies, what the horizon is, and what can happen within this period of time.
Oh, God, you sound like you're quoting me. I love that. Keep going. Keep going.
But if it's a company going for the long term, I have to know if I...
I'm joking. Go.
I have to know where I'm going to go. So if it's going to be a 1-year investment, how far am I going to go? So am I comfortable with 20%, 15%, and that's just it.
Okay, hold on. So when you said long term, you meant 1 year.
Okay, my mentor, because I actually was taught trading to an extent in the US markets for a few months.
Yeah.
He actually says anything beyond 18 months is actually an investment.
Oh, who's your mentor?
Well, his name was Randy Rowe, and he used to go to JC as well. And if you take, and you know, JC were connecting me with him, and he taught me some impressive things about trading, to be honest.
What's his name?
Randy
Rowe.
Well, you can't find him on Twitter right now, but he started doing it to hedge fund in the US, and
he still trades locally?
No, he doesn't trade locally at all.
Oh, too much money.
Oh, wow.
No. The US market pays him quite well. We're talking about $1 million hedge fund.
Yeah, but the Jamaican market is better than the US market right now.
Right now, but the thing is that he's a trader. He doesn't only trade stocks.
Oh, he trades everything.
He trades penny stocks, bonds, ETFs, CFDs, REITs. It doesn't matter what it is. Forex, he can trade it.
Yeah, he moves value. I like that. That's
what
cool.
You think about? What do you think is the yearly return for something like that?
Well, it depends.
Percentage-wise.
Well, in his case as a trader, he can get sometimes 20-30% based on his risk management strategy.
For the year, as in his portfolio growth for the year is like 20 to 30%?
Yes, and that's on a conservative end, because the thing is...
What's the top end? God.
I didn't ask him that part, but... the way he does it, risk management. So for one,
100%,
something very important. Do not trade frequently, not because of the fees alone, but because you might end up risking money and then losing what you don't want to lose. So
if you do it badly.
Well, even if you do it good, things can change.
Danhai was the first rule of investment.
Don't lose money.
And that's the thing about it. He actually showed me that if you trade less, you can make more money just by choosing the better trades.
Yes.
Because if you have 20 companies to choose from, and only 5 are going to go past 10%, make sure you're going to choose one that goes up to the maximum amount, isn't it?
Which is right. So,
yeah, that's right.
But diversification. That's what they're saying.
No, not even diversification. That's for those who have capital like $1 million and above. Because when you have little capital, it's very hard to diversify to an extent. And that's the reality of it. But he was traded anything. So
I think
bonds,
higher than $1 million,
Forex, options. And when people ask what these things are, these are different financial securities that aren't available to Jamaica as yet. But
as yet, like shorting, right?
Well, I was at the JSC's AGM recently, and they are going to be moving the brokers over to the NASDAQ platform come November. And based on how tests go and everything goes well, we should be having short selling in Jamaica. And for those who don't know what short selling is, it is borrowing a stock and returning it to your broker and making money off of that. Let me give you an example.
Get into it. Go.
So if
this is so good. Go.
So if you buy 100 units and you're going to sell that stock on the market at the $30 point, say the stock goes down to $19, you buy the stock at $19 and return that stock to your broker and keep the difference of $1,100. So that's how shorting is. You're making money basically off a stock going down. So like for those in the US, when Tesla went down from like 300 to 195, they made a good profit because the greater the difference, or as you would say, the decline, the more money you get to retain. So even recently, the JSC and Blue Power, those stocks went from JSC went from 34, 38 to 19 recently. Blue Power went from 14 to 9. So you could have this borrow stock from your broker, sell it at the market price, and then just return it to the broker, really and truly, and keep the difference. And that's what shorting really is. You just borrowing the stock and keeping money off the difference in the decline. But the thing about shorting, it has its risk as well. Because if the stock goes up, you still have to return that stock.
Yeah, if you buy it at a higher price.
Exactly. And that's the risk to it. But
all right, let's test that. Hold on one second. Bam, you understand shorting?
Barely.
All right. Yeah, sorry, people, if you didn't get that though. We'll say it again. It's not David's fault. Shorting is a little complicated. It can be very boring. But if you know, it can be very exciting. But it is, I think, like the main thing from it is that it is complicated. You're just saying how dangerous it can be. Because it can be dangerous. It is higher risk.
It is much higher risk because you have to return it to your broker anyway. Because the thing is with when you actually buy a stock, you actually own and take that risk directly for yourself. With shorting, you are just trying to maximize the potential loss of a company. So if you realize the company might be seeing a decline in their profits and this market will react negatively, you will just borrow the stock and just wait for the decline and return it and collect the difference. And that's the thing about it, because in Jamaica right now, you make money from investing in stocks two ways. Capital appreciation, which is buying the stock low and selling it back at a high price.
And the other one is?
Dividends. Those are the two ways, but in the US market,
Let me say it again for people. So the two ways you can make money in Jamaica off stocks is you buy it and the price go up, which is capital appreciation, or the second way is dividends, where a company pays the dividends to you. Dividends generally are low. A big dividend is 4%, 5% per annum, and then tax and fees come out of that. Capital appreciation has loads of room. I mean, currently I'm up over 100%. I'll leave it there. I think Danhai is
shying away from saying more return.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Go ahead. Say your returns. Say your returns, Danhai. Say let the people know what's possible. But your year to date, just for this year, your year to date returns.
So my year to date is currently better than I've ever done. So last year I didn't make as much for the whole year, and the year before I didn't make as much. I'm currently 235% up.
That's right. Stress them. I'm at 174%. Yeah, but I've been spending on plans. And David, if you want to bless us with a percentage.
I can't tell if I have specific few stocks, because...
Well, you don't want... You don't track your whole...
And I don't check my returns. It's just that I haven't been keeping up with my new purchases, you understand?
You use a dashboard? Use a dashboard?
I use something similar like that, but I don't necessarily check to see the returns. I know the returns are there. I know what I'm. But the thing is, I don't want the psychology to start hitting up onto me. Understand?
Yeah, no, but then you have to deal with reality. It's like a chemical reaction. You don't measure the effect of the reaction because I don't want the psychology of the reaction. No, you need to know where you are.
No. The thing is, I know that I'm above 70%.
No, I don't want to hear that. No. You gonna go home tonight? Guys, anybody listening in the same position, follow these instructions. Go on www.evermickle.com/sdboard, or just go on www.evermickle.com, click stock dashboard, download the dashboard, put all your buys in, put the amount of money that you've spent to get those buys. So if you spend $100,000 on some stocks, you put in $100,000, you put in the amount of units I'm telling you get, and then you go back to the front sheet and you put in whatever the name of the stock is and you see how much your money is. You need to do that, David.
No, and the dashboard is brilliant though.
No, but you don't know because you haven't used it. Because if you had used it, you would have been able to hit refresh and see what the actual return on your stocks is as at Friday. So mine is 174.10. What is yours? You see how I know?
No, I get that. And
you need to know if that which isn't measured doesn't matter. That which is measured matters.
Like,
true.
A lot of people, I know a lot of people, they go in and they're buying. Them man, this go up. They check the return. Boy, it's not really that great because 20% for the year and they really thought they were way up.
No. The thing is, I took some. I think I said I don't want to discuss some of them, but I tell you, I've sold some stock, which is why it wouldn't have been easier for me to factor it in return. But for the new companies I bought into recently, we're talking about over 50% for most of them.
Yeah, but watch me now. The dashboard tells you exactly how much you've made.
And over 50% on how much of your money. Because really and truly, so I put 10% of my money and it goes over 50%. And the rest of the money doesn't really move.
Yeah.
I feel good about this last stock because, boy, I made 50% on it. But in reality...
it's really a 5% increase.
Yeah.
Well, I get what you're saying, no, still, but I said, when you purchase that bought recently, specific ones, they have done
well. You
well.
have no idea because you haven't measured them. I can
so you're not sure so you know how much of your money went into those stocks?
Yeah, well, I know how much I went in, and I know the difference between what it is I know. Because the thing is, most of the time, I tell you, I'm from the psychology. Most of the time, I actually know the calculation in my head because I'm an analyst. But
so if you know psychology, you know that human beings on a whole, we don't play naturally the bad and we overplay the good. We think we're further ahead than we are, and we think that the losses aren't as bad as you are. And I say that for myself. So, but you know what stops me from doing it? There's nothing that can argue with Microsoft Excel. True. 1 + 1 is 2. Microsoft Excel always show 2. So when I feel like the good and Excel say 23.4%, I say, no, I feel like it's bigger. But feel like don't matter because feel like can't carry it to the bank. So trust me, there are different times in my investing journey, from the very first time when I did it and I made some money to the last Friday when I realized, boy, this is a plan like it working. There are different little points in my investment journey that have changed how I see it. And one of those points is the very first time I charted out what my actual buys were and see what my actual return was. It make a world of difference. It literally in the moment changed how I invested. Every day, like I had a bunch of decisions in my head, and decisions just immediately became easier because this can't give me more than 35%.
Yep.
This can't give me less than 23%.
Because when you have my biggest problem I was probably over and over and over. I have too much plays. I look at the market, I'm like, this way go up, this way go up, this way go up.
Exactly.
I start quantifying. This way go up 30%, but that's 100%. So which one is better? Like, throw money at 100%.
Yeah, and then this might go up 100%, but can I get in?
Yeah.
Can I get this much money in there in this time? Can I get this little? Is it worth going in? What is the actual risk? The second you actually start to track it, everything will change. That goes for you. I'm glad it's you because people think you're like top of the stack. So hold on, I'm saying that to you. If you're top of the stack and you're already making really good returns and you haven't been doing this, then if you need to improve it, imagine somebody who don't want just starting out. The best way to start out is with it. So trust me, everybody listen, and for you too, David, do it. If at the time I'd make you actually put them in on the thing, because I always have a dashboard copy on me. But trust me, it changes everything about your investing once you start
tracking it.
And the thing I'm going to mention, from high school coming up, I've just been continuously following one philosophy. I want to get better in life.
Oh, that's up, yeah.
And no, that's the thing about it, because I was telling some friends that this last night. I have 4 friends, and I tell people invest and just start to learn. So I have 4 friends. One, my foolish advice. Well, it's not foolish, but
No, we got it.
So one friend took my advice when I was in high school when I started investing. But 4 companies, and now he has 5. And the thing is, he hasn't touched any of those companies in 2 years. Why did he have a 5th company? Because of Mayberry's dividend in specie for MJE.
In specie, yeah, that's a big move.
Yeah, a lot of money.
Yeah.
Between Mayberry and MJE, the amount of money we made on that.
Yeah. Hold on, check this. Do you see anything like that again right now in the market?
Like, as it relates to companies going up in that way, or the moves like what Mayberry did?
All right, so the move, both. Because the moves like what Mayberry did caused MJE, right?
Yes.
And it allowed you to, it allowed them to benefit in a certain way, and it allowed savvy investors to also benefit in a certain way, yeah? I was lucky enough to be one of them. So was Danhai.
And my friend was lucky as well, because I said he hadn't touched his portfolio in college about 2 years, and he's in Barbados. And when he came back, he was just like, damn, Because he looked in the mail, a bag of dividend checks. That's the one. And then when I told him the actual returns, he was like, wow. So that's one friend. Another friend, I mean, because so if people do not open their accounts, I will explain to them, hit them with a proof of address. So, they're like, then your letter, I'm like, all right, I'll send it to you. I tell this girl, so you open your account. She opened it finally in February, but the potential return she missed can't quantify them. Another friend, she just opened her account now, and I was preaching like a pastor for some reason, and just open your account now. Another one, she was coming to AHM to meet in corporate Jamaica, seeing the actual returns, and she tried to open her account on Friday. You know what the account opening process is right now in Jamaica. So, of the 4 friends, one took my advice, and he's actually made good money off of it. And as I'm saying, he wasn't even here doing major investing, but
still made money. Accidentally, he benefited from the bull run.
Accidental gains.
But he still gains. That's the thing about it. Yep. But the thing is, if my other friends had started, they would have been in a better position as well, and they're in Jamaica to see the actual reality.
But that's not bad. That's 2 out of 5. Because you invest, you say you have 4 friends plus you, so 5, and then you invest, and then one has invested accidentally and made money. So that's 2 out of 5.
When you're so you got really rich friends out of the group.
Yeah.
So the other 3 are going to be on here yet.
Yeah. Believe me, 20% of Jamaica got rich.
Oh,
if you think this place has changed yet?
Jamaica is rich already, but
well, we're not rich yet.
True.
We're not rich yet. Jamaica, we like to say Jamaica is rich because you can see a lot of nice vehicles, but that's not rich.
That's not it yet.
No, that's not rich.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I tell people, if you want to change your life, you have to start doing something different. So either in a skill, you have to invest in, you do something, but you can't just be complaining every day that things are getting worse, job's stressing me. You have to just find what works for you and just keep building on it. Isn't that how you build a wall or even a kingdom?
Yeah. I have not built a wall or a kingdom. I'm not down with those guys who say build a wall either, but
I'm not really down with the kingdom people.
Yeah, the kingdom people kind of screw us up over the years. But I like your point. I like what you're saying. I like the change. I like that you're young and you're getting into it early. I also like that you're very activist. One of the beauty of being activist investor is that a lot of people can't be activists because they have ties already. Yeah. They have kids. You don't have any kids to worry about. You don't have any heavy ties, and you have
any kids that we know about, Randy.
Yeah, well, that is hey. Sorry, you notice that all of his friends were women. Yeah, and there's another one, and she's like, listen, there's one guy, but he's in Barbados. Wow, but yeah, you had the right point, I think, to take advantage of the industry because I started pretty early too, but the real meat never started happening until maybe the last 10 years, really. And then for you the last 10 years, I mean, you spoke up, man, say 15 years ago.
Yeah, how long have you been investing?
But this is the 3rd year, Virgin.
Oh yeah,
wow.
so we started at the same time.
Oh yeah.
But as I'm showing you, like, I tell you, I was out interested in investing, and my mom was like, come with this particular broker. I'm like, no. I want to do my own thing and learn.
Your mother had a broker recommendation?
Because of the firm she worked with. I won't say which specific firm, but
you don't want to?
Would we want to give people free advertisement? Thank you.
No, but it depends on who those people are. I'm not studio. I mean, if you can't, but if you can't, that's fine. So your mother had a broker recommendation.
Yeah, and I said no, So, because the thing is, all she wants me to do is follow their advice and and that's the problem right now. People always say, the broker sent me this or that, and I'm like, what have you done for yourself to learn or make your own decisions? And that's the thing about it. Had I taken her advice, I'd probably be making less in returns, or not even understand most of the concepts I understand right now.
Well, not probably, but
you said 70. Bad. You're above 70 this year, so not probably.
First year, well, you're above 70, and the broker's having the best year ever. The funds right now.
The funds are doing good.
Give me that number. You have that number in your head?
Well, I know a recent check 2 weeks ago, the equity funds for most of the brokerage firms like Barita, Sagicor, and NCB are above like 50-60%.
Yeah.
And it's a few months.
What was Barita's number?
I think Barita's around 61% or around that range.
NCBs?
I can't remember NCB exactly, but I know that Sagicor was around 70%. And this actually published knowledge people on their actual websites because that's updated daily. So you can actually check this out for yourself. We're talking about funds, we're talking about unit trusts.
That's true, but the more things you say, bro, is the more things you have to explain, which it's not turning too much, I think. But yeah, guys, check everymickle.com if you want some explanations for what those things are. But yeah, the funds are having their best year ever. And I mean, the best year ever sounds like a normal year if you know what you're doing. So it's they have different constraints. But it's good. It's good that you're getting into it. It's good that you and your peers, people of your age, are getting into it. Because the years before you, the generations before you, were just getting into it the same way. I wrote something once about credit cards saying that one of the things with Jamaicans is that like we have low financial literacy. Because like my generation, my mother can't teach me how to handle a credit card because my mother got a credit card around the same time that I got a credit card. You get me? So the two of us learning it the same way. So of course she has sense. You don't run it up. You try and keep a small limit, blah, blah, blah. But she don't know nothing about braffing. You know what I mean? I know about braffing. She don't know about braffing. She don't know when the card swipe. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't have to worry about that until next month, you know? But you have the chance on somebody young to come up and see, learn from the mistakes of others and learn some of the good things. So you invest in on. I'm happy that you've done that. I hear you say you're going into the industry. You want to go into the industry.
Yes, it's pretty interesting, you know. Even up right now, I've been learning a lot about what actually goes into creating some of these returns for these investors. So it's a lot of work, but the returns are pretty good.
No, the returns are better than pretty good.
And the financial industry really pays good money because if you actually look in the US where the actually money is really being made, you will be surprised.
Yeah. The financial industry pays really well because the financial industry does make a lot of money. They run the world. But you know what? Like we're wrapping it up now, so I like to go into some quick shots, as you see, if you don't mind, like the stuff you like on the market. I don't like saying this too much. I won't go too deep. But let's say if you were investing for what you call long term, you say 18 months, a year to 18 months.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at the market right now, what you like?
Well, I like Sagicor because Sagicor just keeps with acquisitions, and that's just pretty interesting.
It's
and
SJ on the market, Sagicor Jamaica.
And
what you like about them? Acquisitions?
The acquisitions are really helping the bottom line, and the companies, other divisions like the banking and investments division, are making more return based on the current economic upturn. So
you sound like oranges.
Okay, let me break that down. Let me break that down. What I mean by is,
go ahead.
So you have new investors, so they're spending more in the market because even at the JSC is 6 months. For the total cumulative trade on the market right now is equivalent to last year already. So the brokers are making more money.
On that point, JSC is also making more money. On that point, I think in July, the JSC did $10 billion more. I don't want to get those numbers wrong.
No, it's not $10 million.
$10 billion more
transaction.
$10 billion more in terms of transaction worth. Went through I'm the one saying it. So, $10 billion more went through this year than last year, same July. Literally $10 billion more, and that's I think it's on top of like 3 billion or 1 billion or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's a huge deal. The market has gotten bigger and more people have joined in. So there's a whole thing. So I get you. You like SJ, which is Sagicor Jamaica. Because what other acquisitions have they done?
Okay, so they made acquisition for Travel Cash and another firm. I can't remember the name of it, but those two firms added to their bottom line, and even even AGIC. I forgot about that. Advantage General, NCB sold at Sagicor. So that's a company that is going to be accounted for Sagicor investment, which will be accounted for
5 billion.
No, it's actually a consortium of 3 investors. So it was 50 million US, which is about 6 billion JA. So that's Sagicor. Even with Cinco is just this hidden child. Like,
is it really hidden at this point?
No, it's not hidden anymore. But like if you took advantage of the opportunities that were there, because Cinco was around $11-10 earlier this year.
We know Cinco earlier this year at $9. I got some units at 9, I got some at 10, I got some at 11.
But that's just it. You start a reality of Cinco is going to go that direction, and that's the thing about it. You must take you must take early positions because it will pay off. Because look at it, Cinco was selling for around $11 back in May, and it's around 24 now in less than 2 months. So the returns are there, and this is all legal on top of that. And that's the beautiful thing about it. People was like, what if I lose my money? I'm telling people that, what should you prefer? For your money to stay in the bank and get little to no interest, or do you prefer to take an opportunity and learn and increase your value of your money?
Yeah, the interest rate on a savings account last year was 0.64% per annum.
Virgin, the banks actually reached the interest rate as of this month because the BOJ reduced a particular rate. I won't get into the complexities of it, but the banks have reduced their interest rates now.
From 0.64, there's not much more down to go. The point is that the point is that you just don't have. You have to start investing. you know. And it can be as I preach it every week, I'll keep preaching it. You have to invest for where you are. So if you're not a nerd, you're not into the heavy numbers, you don't know, invest for the longer term. Longer term, you want it more than a year, people. David is young, so he can call 1 year long term, but invest for more than a year, and you can then say things like with Cinco, and you put your money, just like how you save, you buy X amount. If you save 50 grand every month, if you save 10 grand every month, you save 5 grand every month, you buy 5 grand worth of Cinco every single month, no matter what the price is, just put the 5 grand in there. I assure you that in 2 to 3 years, you will have a lot more money than you have put in. And you have a lot more money than if you had put it in a savings account. If that don't happen, find me in 2 to 3 years and say, Randy, you were wrong. And I will apologize.
I told you so, we get that a lot.
Yeah.
in the other direction.
Yeah.
But even so, man, like right now, some of the things are happening. Like at the end of this week, for those who don't know, if you don't have Barita by the end of this week.
So this week, just for clarity, is they're not hearing this right now. They're going to be hearing it in a little while. So they'll probably be hearing it. They're hearing this Wednesday on. So this week, go ahead with that in mind, that it is the week of
earnings.
It is the week of August. The week that started Sunday, August 11th, is the week that he's talking about. So guys, if you're listening to this in November 2019, please don't say you heard this and David said you were to buy it, all right? It's the week of Sunday, August 11th, 2019. Go ahead, David.
I was saying that this is earnings week as well. So companies deadlines, the deadline for companies to submit their releases is this week, Wednesday.
Yeah.
So if you know the company is going to get a better return, take your position from early for the companies you're interested in. I was also going to say that for Barita, for those who are interested in the rights issue, you have to make your purchase by the end of this week, Friday. I'm not sure specifically. Don't quote me on this. For those who want to participate in the renounceable rights issue, you can check my profile for the details about that. But I'm just making you know that things are coming up.
Yeah, I think they have a little more time. I think they have up until the week after, to the 20th. I think the exit is
but that's the record date. That's the thing about it.
So it's the day before the 19th. So they have to buy, which is a Tuesday. So they still have
17th is a Friday, Virgin.
Yeah, 17th is a Friday.
17th is a Friday, yeah, but you said...
17th is a Saturday.
It's 2 days, it's T2.
Yeah.
Okay, so T2 guys mean that it's transaction plus 2. David, since you're doing such a good job, what does that mean?
That means that the day of the trade plus 2 business days. So if you buy on the Thursday, you'll fall on the record date, which is the Monday. So the transaction would be the Thursday, and then Friday would be the first business day, and then the Monday would be the second business day.
Sorry about that noise, guys. That's our production studio here. BAM Studios remind us that we have been talking for a very, very, very long time.
Stop talking for a second, I'll edit this out. Come on, Mousy.
Go escape so you lose a full screen. Oh wait, there you go.
Control W.
Just hit the mute.
Control WG.
Control W.
Boom.
Man's a wizard.
Right?
I'm not a wizard.
Right? Yeah, let's go. So, you're saying?
I was just paying T plus 2. So, whenever you buy a stock, or I should say sell a stock as well, there's the time for it to be settled to your account, meaning for if you were to buy a stock, for it to be added to your account, or if you were to sell it, for it to be subtracted from your account, is T plus 2.
Alright, so today is Tuesday. Did I buy? Go ahead.
So if you buy it on the Tuesday, by the Thursday, it should be still in your account.
Okay.
So Tuesday will be the trade day, and then 2 business days would be Wednesday, then Thursday. And for those who are asking, what is this? This means basically, when you buy or sell a stock, there's a time between to make sure that if there are any errors or anything like that, it can be settled in between that period.
It's kind of like a check. It's kind of like the time between when you write the check, you lodge it in your bank account. It's the time between you lodging it and it showing up in the bank account.
And if there's a mistake, you can always, contact a broker or the stock exchange to kind of correct it before the trade goes through. So
I won't put you on the spot too long. I'll be fair since I put you on the spot. I said I still like Cygnus this week.
Cygnus is beautiful.
Yeah, why you like Cygnus? Well, it's still my state, right? I want to be fair, so I like Cygnus this week still. And Cygnus is Cygnus in the mid-20s still? What is Cygnus?
It's at 25 around right now, but there's an arbitrage because what I mean by that, Cygnus is trading around 12 US cents in the US index form, so an opportunity might exist right there.
Sorry, say that again.
I was saying that for those who don't know, Cygnus is trading in both JMD and USD as a stock. And the JMD is around $25 right now, JMD, and the US dollar is at 12 cents.
12 cents.
But the thing is, if you compare it to JA, that's well below that 25 cents. You understand?
So it's the same. It's essentially the same stock, just different denominations for the currency. So why it's the same value you get for owning that stock. It's also way less. The price is also way less than the Jamaican denomination.
And I think there's a potential opportunity there because even with Proven's USL and GMD stock trade relatively in sync, and same goes for Sterling. So
yeah, but I think what Danhai is saying, just to be clear, I don't want people to say that they hear it wrongly. Proven's is different. How Cygnus treats its SCI-JA
and SCI GMD, SCI US, SCI USD are very different.
Yeah, very different from Proven's US. So what you're saying in terms of arbitrage, people, is a fancy term that mean buy cheap somewhere else and sell it more expensive somewhere else. It is what everybody know. But if you want an MBA, you can pay $2 million to learn that again. But the idea is that they buy it cheap somewhere. So in this case, you are saying that Cygnus US dollar shares are lower right now, very low, actually lower than the EPS, I think, or close, not below, but close to the EPS, much closer. Because EPS would be like 0.6 of a cent.
Yeah.
Earnings per share is what EPS means, but 0.6 of a cent, 0.62, I think. And then, or maybe that's me saying my projection out loud. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I'm so sorry. Well, your congrats, guys, are here.
I think your projection is higher, but it's just...
Yeah, but Cygnus, nonetheless, I think the main point here, guys, is that Cygnus is cheaper. I don't know if buying Cygnus, the US share, is any cheaper. Well, you can go and do your research on that. But I think Danhai's point is key in that it's not the same way that both of them work. How Proven US dollar shares work and how Cygnus US dollar shares work is not the same.
Because I know that you can sell the Proven US for the GMD.
So there might be
Cygnus, it's quite different. Yeah. So we have 4 tickers for Cygnus. Meanwhile, Proven and the conversion across the two aren't the same. So
well, when I check JTrader Pro, when you see STI-JA, it actually says Cygnus US dollars.
Yeah. So even on the thing, even on Jamaican Stock Exchange site,
the JTrader Pro.
No man, Stock X. Yeah. You go on a page for Cygnus JA, SCI-JA, it's a USD. SCI US is a GMD. So it's quite different. But
we can do research.
Yeah.
Well, you get it, yeah. Well, no.
So if there's arbitrage, it's not necessarily trading. It's just the fact that the same stock, because they are the same stock, USD and JMD are the same. There's common shares of the company.
Yeah, but you
One
can't.
One is way less. But you can't switch it over. You can't buy the USD and then
sell it as
the JMD. That doesn't happen.
Yeah. Wish you could, but you can't.
I wish. Trust me, I wish. I'll be buying that.
We'll be doing some dangerous things right now because there's a lot of money to be made if you could do that.
Oh God.
Yeah. Well, Danhai, you want to get the people a piece? Anything you think is looking good this week?
I'm still looking at JamT. I see traded down this week, but there's a lot more value with the QWI change coming into the numbers. So I think there's a lot of value still left on the table for that.
What's up with the Mayberry analyst team? I said the Mayberry analyst team saying that they expected to end the year. Their EPS projection on it, earnings per share projection on it, has it getting higher. It says that they expect to make either a smaller profit or a loss or something during the quarter.
I won't promise that I know what they're saying. I haven't spoken to them about that.
I said the same thing for Blue Power, I think. No, I think Blue Power changed recently. But go ahead.
I can make differentiations for those two. So for Blue Power, for those who aren't aware, they're separating their lumber division from their soap division, and that's going to be happening at their AGM this Wednesday. So you can probably find out more when the information is released. But as it relates to Jamaica Tea's QWI, that QWI is composed of different companies. At the AGM, they mentioned that Barita is one of them. So that could be part of their unrealized gains, but it should be coming. The prospectus should be coming soon, based on how the regulators deal with everything.
Yeah, man. So I'm still looking at JamT. Definitely Signals, but Randy already spoke on that.
Yeah. Signals is a good thing still, and people bother me. Don't ask me what price I think or where it is good. I'm saying this.
Don't ask the price,
guys. Come on. I cannot. It's actually illegal for me to give certain type of information.
There we go.
I can't give advice in that way.
For all of us, unless we're licensed advisors. And even if we're licensed advisors, if it's a specific client we have an agreement with already.
There you go. Plus, on my sake, I just can't bother with the headache.
Definitely.
I can't bother with the headache.
And people that think I'm an advisor for Mayberry, no, I'm not.
Again.
You can call Mayberry and get an advisor. It won't be me. Yeah, I'm not an advisor.
Big up Mayberry, but I don't know about the analysis that them have going for JamT. I assume I'm right on this one. I know they changed one recently, but they seem to be saying that they expect it to be lower. Or maybe they changed JamT because QWI was obvious. But if you change JamT, then Blue Power must be obvious because it's the same thing.
Yes, yeah, basically.
Yeah, the same thing.
You asked David that earlier if he sees any plays like maybe MJE and MIL.
Oh yeah, you didn't answer that.
Yeah,
but I was saying Blue Power is an obvious. Isn't it obviously just the same thing that what happened with MJE?
That's what apparently it's going to be. It is that we don't know the full details per se.
But are you guys always say that? What is the details to know?
No. The thing is that we don't know if they're going to list that component.
Think about that for a second. Why
would they give me a private company?
Yeah, why would they go through all this just to
give me I can't.
No. They should be listing it. But
all right, so hold on. Why would you say that you don't know if they're going to list it?
No,
think about it.
The reason I don't want to say that I'm going to list it is because I don't want to say something and something doesn't turn out the same way. You understand?
I understand that, but life is fine. It's perfectly okay to say we got it wrong. I am 100% okay saying I got something wrong. I get things wrong all the time. But everybody I talk to had that same reaction. That's like somebody saying, yo, he broke through the window, took out the knife, stood up over the bed, but I don't know if he's going to stab me. Why would you wait? Why would you wait to find out? They're there. They've listed, they've said clearly that they're going to increase shareholder value by moving the company out to its own sub-company, and they're going to
compensate investors.
Well, they have to. They have to legally
increase shareholder value.
It's true.
They listed.
The guys that are behind it, the main shareholders, the last time they did something like this, they listed. Why would they not list it?
True.
And no company trades at its book value except for. Well, tell us, David.
Probably Kingston Properties.
Kingston Properties,
and it's recently gone up because Jamaica's market are getting crazy.
Yeah, and MJE, I think,
it's below
Mayberry, MIL trades below its book value. I always wonder why they don't take it off the market. But I guess maybe one day if they ever have anybody on it, on this podcast, we'll ask them whoever have Chris Berry on it. But yeah, so thank you guys. Let me just wrap it up for this week. This was me, Randy, at RTU on Twitter, and
Danhai. At H_Dan _Dada.
And David Rose, JC92, JCKNIGHT2.
Remember the T this time.
There we go. And David was our guest this week. So guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Keep the feedback coming. By now you should be seeing it in its own feed. This is the podcast that you should be listening to if you're serious about finance in Jamaica, if you just want to make some money, or if you want to hear some nerds talk instead of hearing everybody else talk. Big up again, the BAM Production Studios, and do we say this, the Jamaica Podcast Network? Yes, of which we have a nice association so far. So thank you guys for listening. Keep the feedback coming, and this was it. This was earnings season. Thank you.